It is. Hey, everybody. Hello and welcome. Happy Thursday to you. Hope you guys are having an awesome week. And I'm Lesli Vitale, business strategist and mentor for health and wellness entrepreneurs who want to attract more clients, sell more programs, and grow a profitable practice. And today we have a really interesting topic in store for you. And that is we're going to be talking with the wonderful, my client. I can't wait to catch up with Dorothy Malsack from Travel for My Health. And we are going to be talking about the benefits of vacationing in the Blue Zone. Okay,
Yes.
So we're going to dig into exactly what that means. And we'll actually be chatting about a kind of a cool trip coming up, right? And you yourself can experience the Blue Zone on vacation and with continuing education credits, we think. Although, yeah, we'll get the credit, we'll get the CEUs. It just is a little bit harder than it used to be. Let's just put it to you that way. But anyway, let's dig in. So Dorothy, first of all, it's so good to see you as always. And I'm really excited to spend some time with you chatting today.
Thank you.
I'm going to go live over here on Instagram as well. So that, all right. And welcome everyone on Instagram. Super happy to have you. We're talking about the Blue Zone today and vacationing in these beautiful parts of the world. And we are here with the wonderful Dorothy. And Dorothy's a dietitian, so one of our colleagues. So Dorothy, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about, gosh, how in the world did you end up doing this? It's so unique for a dietitian.
It is unique, yes. And I love to bring fun to our field and learn in different ways. And what better way than to immerse yourself right in the culture? I am a kinesthetic learner. I learn by doing. And so I think I'm just going to motivate you all to join me and experience how other cultures live, especially the Blue Zones. And yeah, some people have heard of them. A lot of people have not. It's the 5 areas in the world where people live the longest, the healthiest, and the happiest, I say too. The amount of anxiety and depression is much lower. The medications is lower. And I always say to my clients, they don't have fancy gyms. They don't spend billions of dollars on supplements. They just live. And so I have to say, being in Costa Rica last year, there is a magical feel there. People are much more relaxed. And as much as we can, let's bring that here. Let's bring it here.
Bring it on.
We don't have it quite right. I mean, we're a very highly motivated and progressive society, but I wouldn't say our health is the best. We all know this.
Right. Okay. So, so the Blue Zone, then obviously these are parts of, and how many Blue Zones are there? Do you happen to know?
5.
There's 5 Blue Zones. Okay. And how do they define a Blue Zone?
It's the places where people have the longevity, the longest. And so Costa Rica is actually the longest of all.
Oh.
And they are the least wealthy of the 5 countries. So Greece.
So no correlation with financial means. That is super interesting.
It's a simple life. It's so beautiful and sweet too. Greece, Italy, Japan, Costa Rica. And then there is a section of Los Angeles called Loma Linda.
Okay. That's shocking.
Not the rest. It's an inner part of Los Angeles that is a heavy Seventh-day Adventist. So they have a lot of nutrition rules in their religion.
Okay. So they're considered in this Blue Zone group as well.
Yes. And so my goal is to take us to a Blue Zone once a year. And this year is Costa Rica. It starts tomorrow. So the trip starts tomorrow. I was kind of like, man, I wish I could talk to Lesli after, but we will talk again. But yeah, we're super excited. I got to pack my bags tonight and head it out. I mean, my mission is to bring fun, excitement into our profession, and experience this together to
Mm,
help our clients and be better at our job.
okay, I love that.
Mhm.
Okay, so you are going to, and what part of Costa Rica specifically is
Three
that?
parts.
Oh, three
Three
parts.
parts.
Okay.
Yep. So we're starting in San Jose,
Yeah.
which is the
Okay.
big city, and we will stay there for a couple days. We are going to be doing a winery tour there. They do have wineries there. Who doesn't have wineries these days? I feel like that's everywhere. And then they have a very specific to this region gooseberry liqueur that is touted to be like acai berry or pomegranate. So it's antioxidants. So we'll be trying this vineyard. And then we'll also go to a coffee plantation the next day in the San Jose area. And we will have lunch there and learn about the coffee. I mean, that's a big export in Costa Rica, and the health benefits of coffee. And speaking of, I'll take my coffee right now. And
Exactly. I love
also,
my coffee. Yeah. So
yes.
that area is known for
Oh, yeah.
coffee beans, right?
Oh, yes. Yes. One of the biggest producers in the world.
I
So,
gotta tell you, I always love it when I see article or research come out that touts the benefits of coffee.
me
I'm
too.
like, yes, because I gotta, I feel like I've given up like so many vices. Not that I have like terrible ones, but but I'm hanging on to my coffee for dear life.
Heck yes.
And not to get off topic, but yes,
No, no, it's
I'm not
totally on
giving it up.
topic. Me too. Like that's the first thing I do in the morning. Seriously, straight for the coffee
Yeah,
machine.
but preferably good coffee,
Yeah,
right? Like
and
that, I have to say, good high quality coffee is right up my alley. So, okay, so I'm sorry, I kind of cut you off as soon as you said the word coffee. I'm like, yes.
so yeah, we're going to Doka State Winery, and then we're going to the coffee plantation the next day. We'll tour a butterfly garden there and get to learn all about how they've made the coffee there and making the huge export, the health benefits. So that will be the first few days in San Jose. But
Mhm.
there's so many parts of Costa Rica to see. You can't just go to one spot. I've learned that's how it was for me last year
Okay.
when I went by myself. So then we will go to Arenal volcano area,
Okay.
which
Is
is
that
called,
east or north, or I'm trying to
yep,
get
north, a
on the
bit more
geography.
northwest.
Okay.
And it is Fortuna is what it's called. And this is where the hot springs are, the natural hot
Ooh,
springs.
okay.
And so you're going to see more jungle, rainforest. You see monkeys right outside your hotel room, waking you up in the morning, making
I
these
do
crazy
remember
sounds.
that. I remember the monkeys. Oh, it was so awesome when I
It's,
went. Yeah,
yes.
it was such a delight. I just remember just being giddy with delight because
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know that was going to happen. They came down from the mountains
Uh-huh.
early morning, and they're like swinging from all the balconies. Oh my God, so great. And everyone's like, you gotta be really careful. Don't leave anything important on your balcony because they'll grab it.
Yeah.
And
We'll
definitely
find
shut
them.
your balcony door because they will get in.
Yeah.
And oh my
Hmm.
gosh, so fun. So fun.
And seeing toucans, fly
Ooh,
around,
yeah,
and just
love the
the
wildlife.
animal life is just so neat. So at Arenal will be at Tabacon Resort, which is one of the most popular ones there. They have beautiful hot springs all over, which is great benefit for your health, with detox and circulation and just the beauty and the peace. You can go to a place where there's a lot of people hanging out, or there's so many separate little pools you can go into your own little private
Mhm.
one. So that will be on the second city that we stop at. We're having a private chef make us dinner that night, also with indigenous ingredients, corn, black beans,
Mm.
squash. These are called the Three Sisters, which is the staples that they use in Costa Rica: black beans, corn, and squash. So
Mm.
we'll be doing a lot of neat cooking activities with the ingredients that are indigenous to them there. And wholesomeness. They eat so whole. That's what I
Yeah.
tell my clients. Like, their cookies, pop, candy, sugary cereals, that's such a rare part of their diet.
Mhm.
And with us, as it's so
Unfortunately.
common, because of our fast-paced society. So how do we bring that? They're slower paced, so
Mhm.
that I tell them, I learned this from you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. This is the way our society is.
Yeah.
You don't want to make people feel like, oh, you do this wrong. It's not your fault. But how can we learn and bring that into our society? Does that mean meal prep? you know, Ordering at restaurants, foods that look like how they were grown. So that's a big part of my teachings this year. I've been focusing on Costa Rica with all my clients and inviting them to come along with us too, to see this beautiful country. It's so healthy.
Mm. I
Yeah.
love that.
Hmm.
So you're going tomorrow,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it sounds like you've got an amazing trip planned. And I'm hearing it's this blue zone is
Hmm.
it's on the west side of the country,
Correct.
right?
So,
So it's on the Pacific Ocean,
yep. So,
right?
so after the Arenal volcano and Fortuna, we will go further west to the Nicoya Peninsula, and that is the official blue zone of Costa
Oh,
Rica.
okay.
So we're going to go to an island, have a beach day there, hike around, do water sports. We also have another private chef at this location making ceviche, all kinds of ceviche. Um, let's see, just that
Wow.
city is filled with like yoga and free spirited stuff, healthy.
Mhm.
So that's where we're really gonna dive in and get to know the people in the area too, and see
Mm.
how they live, and bring it back to the US and help our clients understand, you know family, friends, take
Mm.
a break, chill, eat wholesome,
Yeah.
move around a lot, um, have a goal in life. Those are their four main staples, is what they do. I've been teaching that this year with my clients. It's been my New Year's resolution and my theme with my clients.
Oh, so
We
good.
we're following once a season. So we started in January. The plan de vida is what they say in Costa Rica, the plan of life.
Oh, okay.
So this was where we started in January with my clients, and my fiance was like, "You're not a psychologist." I'm like, you're right, but what's our plan of nutrition here? Like, why are we doing this? So I
Mhm.
put it into health, and why are we talking? Because if you don't have a reason, you have to have a reason, no matter how silly you think it might be. It's got to be something that makes you want to meet with me weekly, and to make you get up and put your shoes on and walk and follow, the
I
guidelines.
agree. Yeah, well, I think it's, really uncovering your why
Exactly. Uh-huh.
and getting really clear on your vision,
Hmm.
right? And
Yep.
the impact of achieving or getting closer to that vision, like how that is gonna spill over and have, a positive impact on one's life. And of course that's different for everybody, right? It's
Right.
one of those things that we cannot tell someone, or ideally we're not telling, we're asking, right? Because that
Right.
just help that person to increase their clarity around what's possible for them, and kind of like what is their north star here? Like why are
Yes.
you doing this? Is that what you're
Oh,
saying?
totally. And that's why we started with that in January, because if you don't have that, you don't know really what it is, or you're just doing it because the doctor said you need to lower your
Mhm.
cholesterol, or whatever. Like, do you really want to? Or what is the real reason? You
Yeah,
know,
it's not very motivating at the end of the day, right?
for some people, no.
For
And
it goes for
right.
some, 'cause I don't know, and you're doing this work, so are you saying that when a doctor refers patients to you,
Mhm.
or a doctor tells a patient, "Gosh, you really need to rein this in," or else it's a little bit, it feels a little bit more fear-based,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Do
Mhm.
you find that that fear, like, is that a lasting motivation? Or do we have
Yes.
to dig deeper? Sometimes it is lasting, right? Like, "Oh my god, I."
I it is for a while for some.
Okay.
I feel like some of my most my favorite like plan de vitas that I've had, like one gal, she wants to lose weight because she wants to have a baby and she wants to find
Oh, that.
a man, and if not, have a baby on her own. And she's been like chucking away since spring every week, 2 pounds, 1 pound, fabulous. Like she has her plan de vita. She is on it. And I'm like, you rock. This is really why you want to do this. Like I give the example, okay, why did I bodybuild? You remember I bodybuilded back in the day.
Yeah.
I did that because I was dipping my toes in the real estate industry. And the people there in that industry are definitely not as, as maybe healthy every night.
Right.
They're very party entertainment, a lot of drinking going on. And I was like, man, this isn't what I'm used to, as a dietitian. Oh, I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it just kept, is like, keep going to the real estate parties, and I finally said, I'm going to bodybuild because that will make me stop. If I have to get my butt up there on stage and flex my muscles, that gives me something, a timeline. It's a smart goal, and it can do nothing but help me. So that I tell my clients, you certainly don't have to do something extreme like that, but
Right.
I had a goal. I was going to do this by April.
Mhm.
And if I had to, I mean, bodybuilders don't drink. So that kind of lifestyle had either me stop going to that or just, drink water or whatever, not doing that every night. So I had that idea for quite a while that I wanted to stop,
Mhm.
but I had to push myself to do something to make me do it. Otherwise, you just keep waking up saying there's always tomorrow. You
Mhm.
need a date, you know?
Yeah. It is hard to get back in the saddle after you've stopped. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
I know for me personally, that's one reason that keeps me motivated because I know how hard it is, right? Like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep going." I'm also personally, I would say, a little bit addicted to the endorphins, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like, for me, it's kind of like it is, and everyone's wired differently, but, like, even when I'm really tired or don't feel like it seems like that's when I get my biggest benefit in terms of an energy boost. So,
Oh yeah.
sometimes I would just say that gets me going and gets me on that Peloton, right? Because 'Cause I'm like,
Huh?
"Oh, I know I'm gonna feel so much better," right? Or I
Yes.
know even if I feel good, I'm gonna I'm gonna even feel more energetic, right? So, but
Yeah.
got their own, motivation. I think what you're saying is just important to tap into that with your clients and really, yeah, help them to get clear on what's in it for them. Like what is their North Star? I
Yep.
wanted to ask you, so back to the trip, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Uh, how so tell me about this gooseberry liqueur. Um, yeah, like, so I think you're gonna go on a tasting,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think you said that is it the Copey State Winery?
Winery. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. So, yeah,
Mhm.
tell me a little bit about that.
So that's our first stop in
Okay.
San Jose after we get there. And that will be testing the wines, but also the gooseberry liqueur is the one that I was talking about, where it's like the acai berry, but it's unique to Costa Rica, and it has flavonoids in it. It's antioxidant. So that's their little thing there. It's gooseberry liqueur. I've never tried it. I don't think we had it last time we were there, but that will be a special little treat.
Okay, so it's a alcohol. It is a liqueur, meaning it has
Uh-huh.
alcohol, but it also has antioxidants.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, if you're
Yeah.
gonna drink, right, like
Kind of like wine
probably
and
only
stuff.
like people like us would think that way, but hey, it's kind of like like, well, if I'm gonna drink, I might as well get some antioxidants in there while I'm
Yeah.
at it, right?
It is fun to just try stuff that's like, special to that region. So, when I was making this
Right.
itinerary, they threw the in there, and who it seems like, just speaking of drinking, like that's such a popular thing that draws people. But that's what I was
Wild,
saying
I've never heard
earlier.
of it. Have you guys heard of it? I'm curious, anyone in our group, if you've heard of it or if you've been to any of these places. I'd love to hear from you.
So
I
many
have been to Costa Rica, but, not I don't think I've been to any of these particular, like, blue zones.
Yeah. Yeah. So many dietitians are like, please do this again next year because I
Are you
need to.
going to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Yes.
date?
People were saying October's tough with Fancy.
Well, I was gonna mention that.
Mhm.
It's a
Mhm.
I think it's a great time to go probably,
It is.
but it is pretty challenging because it's like the day we just got back from Fancy,
Right.
right? And for those of you that, are not RDs, Fancy is
Mm.
it's the annual Food and Nutrition Expo, and it happens every year. It's our big meeting. Oh my gosh, it's a pretty big deal. Usually they have
Huge.
like 10,000 RDs wandering around, right? So, yeah, so we just I went this year. It was in Minneapolis, and it was absolutely beautiful. I love Minneapolis. It was a really great time. So, I think next year it just happens to be in Nashville, FYI.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Nashville's super fun. That was like one of my all-time favorite fancy locations just because
Uh-huh.
I'd never been there and it was just, oh, we had so much fun. But anyway, yeah, so the timing, right?
Yep.
'Cause, yeah, it's a little hard to just get back from fancy and then go on a trip. So what are you thinking in terms of dates?
Maybe May.
Okay. All right.
Uh-huh. Or maybe even in 2 years, 2026, May. To
Mhm.
give people more time. And I've got a wedding to plan now in the next year or two. So
Okay.
a lot going on.
Yes.
So yeah, but I definitely want to. There's such a huge a request to do this again. Dietitians are like, I don't even care about the continuing education points. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
just
just
want
want
to
an excuse
go.
to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that for
Hmm.
sure.
Hmm.
Tell us a little bit about, like, if you can share any of the practicalities around the cooking techniques and, things like that
Hmm.
you have tapped into
Uh-huh.
especially in this particular blue zone. And, I think we're looking at, really super nutritious foods, which of course we're all about,
Uh-huh.
um, improvements in health and mental well-being, and maybe even some age-defying,
Oh, yes.
say, tips in
Oh,
terms
yeah.
of, you know, the external. Tell
Hmm.
us a little bit about that.
So, as I mentioned, their wholesomeness is extreme. I mean, they're very rarely are they having the processed food that is so abundant here. Now, it is being brought there a little more because of the industry is growing, the travel industry is growing. So
Mhm.
they're concerned that the younger generations aren't going to keep up the blue zone. because
Okay.
there's so much
Oh,
fast food, processed food, candy. Um, s-
at
uh,
risk.
hmm But like I think our generation before it was, fruits, vegetables, maybe a little bit of eggs, a little bit of chicken, fish, cheese, but plant-based foods that look like they're growing on the tree. And I love talking to my clients about that. And it's just a very simple concept, like how does that food look?
Mm,
If it isn't a package, like when I was starting this in January, I was at
mhm,
Costco and I was like, okay, here's hummus. Hummus is in a package. I read the ingredients. It's
mm,
chickpeas, olive oil, salt, and garlic. Four things. We all know those things are in our kitchen. However, you look at a package of Pop Tarts, which my uncle worked for Kellogg's. Don't get me wrong, I love myself some Pop Tart, but we read the list and there's things that we don't understand. And
yeah,
it doesn't mean it's bad. And those foods were made for quick convenience, but we
yeah,
need to think ahead and base our foods mostly on foods that with the ingredient list we understand. They're
yeah,
things in our kitchen. So I tell my clients, yeah, we aren't in Costa Rica. We don't live the same life. We are very fast paced.
yeah,
But let's either meal prep, plan ahead, or buy foods where you understand the ingredients. But just getting easier, I think,
mhm,
to find that.
mhm.
And I tell them, like once in a while it's fine to have
Sure.
processed, like once a day if you want to have, something, or one day a week. But just most of your food should be foods that, we all know this. It
Right.
is so simple. It's so
It
simple.
is not brain surgery, really, but it's just the doing. Like, feel like the know, we kinda know what we need to do, and I guess I'm talking, kind of the average person.
Right.
It's not easy to change,
Hmm.
right? It's just sometimes really challenging, and I would just say the other thing is if we don't plan, it just makes it
Right.
harder, and that just becomes a vicious cycle, and people do kinda struggle with cravings is what I'm
Oh yeah.
right? Like, when those cravings kick in, it's really, really challenging to overcome those.
And I tell my clients, my intern this summer was focused on binge eating disorder. And so we discovered through our research that the more processed food you're eating, the less nutrients, wholesome nutrients you're getting. Some nutrients we haven't discovered yet. They're only in wholesome food. We can't make it to enrich our foods.
Mhm.
So that your body's saying, I'm still hungry. I still need to eat, and the cravings because of the processed food. You're not getting the wholesome.
Okay.
So, because our bodies are well designed, it's science. It's like you're still missing whatever, iron, calcium, whatever. So your body's gonna keep saying, eat, 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 but you
Right,
keep going back to the processed food. It's a never ending cycle.
right.
So I'm really surprised once my intern and I were working together, and this was eye opening to me. I was focusing on this with my clients, and really it took away a lot of their food noise. The more wholesome they ate, you know, just, taking out that fast food at lunch, even, they were I, feeling more calm in their head, not that food noise, which I know too. I've had that,
Sure.
when I was younger. So wholesomeness, it's so nice to eat and then feel like, okay, I'm good. And it comes from more wholesome eating like the Costa
Mhm.
Ricans do.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay. So, so powerful. And then, yeah, tell us how that translates, I guess, into, kind of like the age defying component.
Just all those nutrients,
Yeah.
skin, hair, all that,
Getting those nutrients, shiny hair and nails and,
oh, yes.
skin that
And
is looking
muscle,
yeah,
people
true.
doing the no carb or low carb. I mean, I'm like, I'm telling you what, when I was bodybuilding, I was eating practically a bag of baby potatoes a day and I had the most muscle ever. I mean, because, carb helps build the energy to build the muscle.
Mm,
And so there's no foods that are bad. And that's, everything in moderation. Like a lot of my eating disorder clients, their hair is so
mm,
ruined from, the poor nutrition. And so, we point out like this is why we do eat the B vitamins. This is why we eat wholesome, because this is why we have omega-3s and fats. This all makes for the wholesomeness of you and you're beautiful who you are. Feed yourself the goodness in whole foods.
yeah, and gosh, being right there on the Pacific Ocean, that seafood, I do remember that. How amazing.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
yummy.
hmm And
Oh,
then mental health too, you
right.
know, with the wholesomeness.
And being outside and enjoying nature, like, I don't know, that's my favorite. There's just nothing better in my thought process for one's mental health,
Yep.
right? And movement.
Yep.
Movement. I mean, I get again, everyone's kind of wired differently. It's just like I have to have it. Right? I just like have to for my own emotional well-being.
And
So
it's so challenging in our society. I can see this as I'm getting busy and busier. I'm like, oh my gosh, like
it's hard to fit
yesterday,
it.
yeah, I was talking to a client at 2:30 Pacific time. I looked at my steps. We were having a competition who had more. She had 1,000. She's like, I bet you're more than me. I looked, it was 500 at 2:30 in the afternoon. Like I'm struggling with how busy my business is getting. Fine.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm like, this is now I know
there
how it
you go.
feels for my clients.
Well, it is. And I'll be really upfront. Like, and I know everyone kind of has their different challenges. Like, I'll just say, for me personally, pretty good with the exercise. Like,
Mm-hmm.
prioritize that. It's like no
Mm-hmm.
matter what. Like, that's what I do. But what is hard to fit in, just saying, and it's always been this way for me personally. So I invest my time there and work more than full time. It's the food prepping.
Okay.
You kind of struggle with that, right? Because it's like, okay, where does that fit in? Unless I do it on the weekend,
Uh-huh.
right? And if I do it on the weekend, it's a pretty big, it's pretty big undertaking. It's kind of like my job for the weekend. And sometimes you just don't want to do it or you're out of town. So I don't know. I tend to eat pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
So, nothing like for dinner, a lot of time it's salads, with some kind of protein on top, just really simple with good quality ingredients though, right? Like really good olive oil,
Yeah.
super good quality, just but simple.
Uh-huh.
I have found that. And then batch cooking, right? Like
Yep.
I got to tell you, I never hardly make anything if I can't like triple the recipe, right? It's like, yeah,
Yep.
throw stuff in the freezer. Like I'm making these blueberry walnut like muffins right now. Well, kind of right now. The I started last night and I will continue today. But it's like I'm not just going to make one batch. I'm making three, right? So it's like
Yes.
recipe and then
Mm-hmm.
freeze. But anyway, I that it is in our day and age. I just think it is a lot more challenging to
It
fit
is.
it all in, right? You do the exercise because it does take time to get like 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
What is that? Like 4 miles of walking, right?
About, yeah, 4 to 5. So, and
Right.
they did a study on why Europeans are healthier than Americans, and they smoke a lot more than
Yeah.
Americans.
Which
And
is
it was, they guessed from the walking.
okay.
And I'm just like, okay, now telehealth is such a big thing. I
Yeah.
don't even walk to my car. I don't need a car. Seriously, I'm like, I rent my car out on Turo a lot now
Oh,
because
that's awesome.
I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I seriously, I mean, it's
Right.
really sedentary. And I'm like, how, oh my gosh, like the walking pad is really popular with my clients to
Okay.
walk while they're working. I'm thinking of getting one as soon as I close on a house here. My fiance and I are buying a home,
Okay.
but thank you. Well, it's all because of you teaching me how to be an entrepreneur.
That's great.
Otherwise, I'd still be renting. But just that's another thing about Costa Ricans. Like they even wash their own clothes. They are washing their own dishes. There's not really dishwashers. And I know these sound like small little movements, but
It really does add up.
it
It does.
does. I
Yeah.
mean, look at how you don't even, some people's cars, you don't even have to turn on the windshield wipers that they knows there's rain. There, I have a girlfriend's like, look at my new wind or my blinds. Press the button, it goes up. She doesn't even have to go like this. We don't have to do this to our car
Right.
window
Oh, isn't
anymore.
that crazy when you think about it? Like all the automation. Yeah.
It adds up.
Mhm.
And so that was one of my New Year's resolutions as well, because I'm teaching my clients. I'm like, you don't have to wash your own clothes, okay?
Yeah, you don't have to get
but,
out there. Yeah, you're
but let's be realistic. They always get a chuckle out of that. But it was my New Year's resolution. I'm gonna start washing my dishes, and then I put them in the dishwasher to sanitize.
yeah,
Um,
good.
and and sometimes, I always block my workout time during the Detroit game, whoever's
Oh,
playing Red Wings,
you're a
whatever.
fellow Michigander. I forgot to mention that to everybody. So, yeah, we still love the Detroit sports teams.
So when sometimes when the games are on, I look at my house, I'm like, it's messy, clean up. Like
Yeah.
back when I was bodybuilding, my apartment was in a complete mess, but I'd be at the gym for 3 hours. I'm like, that's so silly because this is movement, vacuuming. Like
Yes.
we,
I'd
we
love
have
to hear,
sharks
like,
vacuum.
I'd love to know from our audience, do you guys have any tips on how you get your movement in? So I was wearing, not to go off on a total tangent, but we are anyway. Um,
Totally.
so yeah, and I was talking to this trainer that I work out with. So we were both wearing a CGM, right? And she
Hmm.
reminded me, she was like, Leslie, the thing that I learned from like her 4 weeks of having on a continuous glucose monitor, it was a good reminder. She's like, the biggest thing for her was movement after eating,
Mm. Hmm.
right? Like,
Hmm.
and we're not talking go run 5 miles. We're just talking tidy up, put stuff away,
Yeah.
or just be standing doing things instead of just plopping on the couch, right?
Yeah. Hmm. Play
And
with your kids,
yeah, it doesn't have to be like crazy at all,
Mhm.
and especially after eating, that is so important.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about studying Costa Rica this year and bringing the light to my clients. Like it's definitely opened my eyes, being a ex bodybuilder where I was
Yeah.
like gym, da da da. I much more open minded now to other ways of moving around, and just as long as they're moving,
Mhm.
6 days a week, be moving,
Yeah.
make that extra effort.
Yes. That
Mhm.
is so true. So
Mhm.
true. Like I'm gonna be in a car probably 12 hours a day for the next 2 days, road tripping to
Mhm.
Colorado and then New Mexico to see my son.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I'm thinking, okay, I know we're gonna have to leave at the crack tomorrow. I'm thinking, all right, because I really am really super focused on really trying to get exercise 6 days a week of some sort. I'm not talking crazy, right? Like
Right.
it's not like, like out of control, but just some movement, right? And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna get my buns out of bed, you know,
Yeah.
like really probably before the sun comes up, because it's just the thought of sitting for 12 hours for 2 days, like, oh, that is gonna really be a drain. It makes me very fatigued. So
Mm-hmm.
if I just get up and do 15 minutes of something, I'll be like a completely different person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so much more alert and energetic. Not that you need a ton of energy to drive, but I guess I think it is alertness even for me, right?
Uh-huh.
It's,
Uh-huh.
I'll have to take my turn. So,
Yes.
sometimes it's not super convenient. But you just kind of like think about, well, what is my motivation? And really try to tap into that.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yep.
and I don't know about you, Dorothy, but I am super motivated by data.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, like I look at the number of steps on my,
Uh-huh. Yep.
I'm like, that's just how I personally am wired. I'm super motivated by like seeing, Leslie, you're on a streak here. You did, X, Y, and Z 3 days in a row or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case. Keep,
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know why that motivates me.
That's your star. Like I said, like the bodybuilding motivated me. I was scared, to make a fool of myself. All my
Well,
friends were
going
coming
on
to watch
stage,
me.
yeah, that probably would. Mm, I don't know if a lot of people would even go there.
Oh no, no. I
A
tell my
lot
clients
of
it's
like being
extreme.
not like, okay, we're gonna look at every muscle in her body. That would be a little stressful.
But
But
definitely
anyway, but you had a goal and you
right.
had a deadline and you worked it, right?
And that was my plan de vida, to make me do what I kept saying I knew I needed to do.
Okay.
So
So takeaway.
that's like I said, Costa Rica and Japan, they definitely are both big
Japan.
countries that have a big focus on purpose, a daily purpose, which
Okay.
is
I like that. Yeah.
part of, I mean, you feel bad for people that just sit around and don't have anything to do or reason to
Mhm.
live. This is part of the reason. And what's your reason for working with me as a dietitian?
Mhm.
Let's really find it. It can be silly. It doesn't matter. Like I love to give my fiance's mom she's a great example. We haven't even set a wedding date. We just got engaged in July and she's already losing weight. She's getting ready. We're like, we haven't even set a date. She's bought 2 dresses.
Aw,
We don't even know like where it is.
that's her motivation. It gave her like a
Yeah,
goal to look forward to, and she's already on it. That's a really fun story.
it is.
Yeah.
So
That
these trips are kind of, for us as dietitians, it's meant to immerse ourselves in the culture so we can learn about other countries. There's a lot to learn out there.
yeah.
And for us, I think as Americans, there's a lot to learn about relaxing and taking a breath and chilling. I
Yes.
think, yeah. And
Right.
that's it.
Feeling ourselves, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's just yeah, like even gentle movement is gonna make a huge difference.
And yes, and just enjoying life and family and friends and eating
Yeah.
wholesome, moving around. Like I said, I love that this country is not, super wealthy country, but they outlive all of us.
So it's not a financial thing.
No.
It's just not. So that's what's so fascinating.
Yeah.
You're gonna do another trip, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so more to come, you'll let us know.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and where can folks find out more information about your upcoming Blue Zone trip?
Travel for my health.
Okay.
So I started, nutrition for men, nutrition for
Yeah.
ladies with you, and everything we do is a four. So travel for my health.
Okay,
Um,
travel with a numeral 4. Is it myhealth.com,
mhm. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna put that banner up. Did I
There
spell
you
Yep.
are. Hmm.
Okay.
Yep, that's
So
correct.
visit Dorothy at travelformyhealth.com. Get yourself on her email list so that
Hmm.
you can find out about the details about her next trip to Costa
Hmm.
Rica.
Hmm.
Costa Rica is amazing. It
It
is.
is.
I definitely want to go back. So yeah. So depending on when it is, I would certainly be interested myself.
I would
And
love you to
ooh,
be.
wouldn't that be fun? All right.
Yes.
That would be awesome. Guys, the other thing I want to share really quick is just before we end today, I just want to let you know that the Six Figure Biz Academy is like my flagship business building program, and I run it once a year. This is it, guys. So we have opened the doors for the Six Figure Biz Academy. So if you're at all interested, if you really want to kick things off, like really have a strong start in 2025, check it out. It is super comprehensive. I take you through every element from messaging, figuring out your programs and packages, pricing, sales, marketing strategies, and then how to scale, how to create leverage revenue. So we cover all of those topics in an enormous amount of depth. All right. So if this resonates for you at all, head on over to sixfigurebizacademy.com, check out the page, see, what you think. And if you're at all even remotely interested, click the Get Started button. All you have to do is fill out a short form and pick a time, and either someone from my team or myself will get on the phone and have a conversation with you and just kind of help you determine if this is your next step. All right. So sixfigurebizacademy.com. We start next week. We have a wonderful group forming, and I'd love to have you in the group as well. So sixfigurebizacademy.com, check it out, and let's have a chat and just see if it's a good fit. All right.
Yes.
And then again, I want to remind everybody, travelformyhealth.com. Find out more about these Blue Zone trips.
Yes.
Reward yourself. And I think it's considered a business trip, just saying.
Yes, it is. And I've done the Six Figure Biz Academy. And if you want to have so much business, you don't even know what to do, then definitely do it.
Oh
It's
my
true.
God.
I mean, I'm buying a house now in California, which is not a small feat. So,
okay. So do you remember where things were when we first met?
Yeah.
Are you willing to share that?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Actually, it's really kind of a inspiring story.
Oh, thank you.
It really is. So,
yeah.
remember the Airbnb thing?
Oh yeah, I found Leslie through Eat Love people that Eat Love, and because I was desperate for someone to help me. I know real estate coaches, and where's the nutrition coach, dietitian? And I found Leslie, and when we had our first appointment, our discovery call, which I didn't know that's what it was at the time, I was just in such a disarray. You could barely afford rent. It's just so frustrating. And she really helped me realize, okay, stop doing these 15-minute appointments for $20.
Yeah.
Like, you need to focus on a big income coming in.
Yeah.
So then that's how I learned about making my packages with supplements in them as well. It's 3-month package, $1,500 with personal training and dietitian. It's $2,000 or $2,500, and made the contract, the whole bit. So, and my business just totally took off. Now I'm buying a home in Orange County on the ocean. Actually, I have an offer in on a property. I mean, it's not a view of the ocean but the complex is right on the sand in the LBC, Long Beach. So, yeah, we'll see.
A long way.
Yep. And I do want to tell you though, I did, you may see me on a show coming up, like a Judge Judy show.
Oh, tell me.
For a client of mine who, the contract that there was, she canceled her nutrition appointment after 1 month because she didn't lose enough weight. She lost 5 pounds. That wasn't enough for her. She canceled everything, did credit card decline, so I took her to court. And then one of the Judge Judy shows, not Judge Judy itself, but a spinoff, called
Okay.
me and asked me to be on the show. And I said, sure, if you can get the defendant. And she did. And so we filmed it Martin Luther King weekend in this year, 2024. And I can't say anything till it airs, but I definitely talked about, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And one of the judges just loved that as a dietitian. She's like, you're the real deal, you know your stuff. But I did learn some things about my contract there where, I need to maybe do this, and other dietitians should too.
Okay.
So that as soon as that airs, we can talk about it. Maybe we can get to the next show
Oh
on
my
that.
gosh. Yeah, let's do that. Oh my
I
God. Anything legal is a super hot topic amongst health practitioners. So, okay. Yeah, let's do that for sure. I think I'm guessing everyone here is giving the thumbs up.
let
No,
me
I
tell
can't see
you.
you.
Let me tell you, I had like PTSD for a week after being on that show. I was like, oh my gosh, like 3 judges like
Oh,
pounding me.
that would be stressful. Okay. Okay. You know
But
the outcome, right?
oh yeah, yep,
You
I
just
know the
can't say it. You
outcome.
just can't say it.
It's win-win.
Okay.
So it's all good. But I'm telling you, like the things like that are really hard to do. But you learn something, you're basically having judges look over your contract and pick it apart. And so there's nothing to lose, anything just to gain, and just to make yourself better for the next time, no matter what the result is. So
Oh, wow. I'm so proud of you for sticking with it, right?
yeah, well, I definitely was
I
thinking of you.
most I'm just saying, probably most people would just be like, "Here, like,
Oh,
here's your money, go away," right? Just because just the stress alone. So,
yeah. Yeah.
right?
It's intimidating for sure. But
I'm
I think the more we push ourselves, the more we grow. So
so proud of you, Dorothy. That's huge. Oh my
thank
God. Okay. So to be continued for sure. Do you know when the show is going to air?
I was looking this week so
Okay.
that, I could know what to say with
Let
you.
me know because I can't wait to watch it. If I can
Yeah.
see it, I don't, you'll have to share those details.
Yeah, it's usually on Prime.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay. That's cool. All right. Well, I'm pretty darn sure we will have a large audience for that conversation. 'Cause legal is a really hot topic. So,
And I'm just happy to bring our name to like TV here, and there's no such thing as bad publicity. It was all good.
okay. I'm so
Mhm.
glad. Yeah, because, the other thing is I'm an advocate for RDs getting and health professionals, right? RDs and other health professionals, especially those that are moving into the cash model, uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
getting paid, right? And feeling like that they can make a good living doing the work that they're meant to do in the world.
Mhm.
Instead of just constantly it just being an uphill battle, right? To make a good living. I mean, we've got so much training. I don't need to tell you, right? I don't need to tell anybody on this call, the years invested. And PS, just saying, we have to have master's degrees now.
Yeah.
Like all the new RDs coming through, that is a lot of education.
Yeah.
And so getting paid is super important. And just want to mention that that is something that we talk quite a bit about in the academy, right? Is
Mhm.
how to organize your programs, how to move away from, these a la carte sessions that just are not going to
Yes.
drive results.
Oh my gosh. Nope.
Okay, that's huge.
I was so
Anyone
grateful.
in I would just say anyone in functional medicine, especially functional nutrition, and that and just normal nutrition, right?
Mhm.
It's just really important because do the math, right? It is so hard to make a living in that a la carte kind of a business setup.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have no shows. You just are.
Oh, yeah.
Don't show, you don't get paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's just one of many challenges. I would say maybe the biggest thing, one of the biggest things is you're going to attract a more motivated client at the end of
Yes.
the day,
Yeah.
right? Because they're going
Yes.
to pay once, they're going to make that investment, and you don't have to feel awkward all the time, like, okay, time to pay, time, you know what I mean? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you do
Mm-hmm.
it once
Mm-hmm.
and you're done until the end of their program. And that client, instead of being really kind of judgmental about the value of every session or every, dime they spend, instead their mindset is on the prize,
Oh,
right? It's
totally.
on the result, don't you think?
Yes. My clients that are the package, the platinum package, there's a different respect for sure. Like
Mhm.
forever my fans. They love me forever and refer other people, definitely.
Yeah,
It's very enjoyable to work
good.
with. Hmm.
Yeah, it's critical. I'll just say it is. So moving into programs and packages is huge, and and not to say you have to do it all overnight. I do want to point that out because that can be stressful too. I know when I had my private practice, I was definitely on board with the idea of programs, but I had some different patient types in the beginning. So what I did, and this could work pretty well for those of you that haven't yet dipped your toe in programs and packages, I just picked one segment of my patient population, right? Where I was like, okay, I am going to draw the line in the sand here because I know in my bones that a single session is going to help nobody here, right?
Right.
So if that is you, then I would say it's time, right?
It's
It,
so true. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Uh-uh.
and once I made that realization that, a single session really isn't going to do anyone any good, it was really, really easy for me to, just to make that complete transition and really move completely away from programs and packages, or to programs and
Right.
packages, and
Right.
away from a la carte. But the thing is too, and I just want to mention this really quick, is then if you're asking your patient or client to make a bigger commitment, it is a different conversation,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is a different conversation. And so that is another piece of the puzzle that,
Mm-hmm.
we have to train you on how to have these really amazing, what I call enrollment conversations that will inspire your client to take action. And they're not, you never ever want to feel salesy. At
Right.
the end of the day, it's about helping them articulate out of their own mouths why this is important to them and what's at stake if they don't change, what's possible if they do change. And then you position your offer as the bridge. I mean, that's really the easiest way I can put it. But all of this is covered in crazy amounts of depth in the Six Figure Biz
Yes.
Academy,
Yeah.
right? So,
And you have them find their why, like right
yeah,
at the beginning in
I
that
do.
discovery
Yeah,
call.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. That
Mm-hmm.
is what we're doing. We're uncovering that big why
Mm-hmm.
in that discovery call.
Mm-hmm.
And so the approach is really different than probably any other sales approach that you've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be we don't want to be arm twisting, right? Like
No.
we're not in the business to do that. I'm not going to try to arm twist or convince. But if you're asking those poignant questions, that client is going to, really what happens is the readiness to change increases exponentially on that call, which is super cool to see.
Yep. And then you'll be so busy, you'll be like, take it or leave it, and you'll do the takeaway, and you won't be like desperate, because you will be so busy with Leslie's program that it gives you even more of a air of like, wow, she knows her stuff or he knows this stuff, because you'll be so busy. Like you could tell when someone's kind of desperate,
Yeah.
Like, please say yes, please say yes. You
Yeah.
won't have that because you'll have so much business that you'll just do it authentically and say what you say. And then, you know, you do the takeaway and
Yeah.
it happens. And it's an attractive thing. I can't say enough.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. Well, and case in point,
Thank you.
you going from, just not being able to pay your rent, making, having these just really, I mean, barely scraping by to
Yeah.
now being in a position to buy a house in
Hmm.
Orange County, like near the ocean or, on the ocean. Like that is
Uh-huh.
really, I'm really proud of you.
And going to Costa Rica tomorrow and being
Yeah.
engaged.
Living
in
the good life,
in
right?
Detroit. We got engaged in the most romantic city in the world, Detroit. That's where he did it.
Oh gosh, he knows you well.
At
Probably
the
after a
Tiger
Lions
game.
game.
At,
After a Tiger game?
at the Tiger game. At the Tiger
Oh,
game. He had the little
only
mascot
you.
come out.
Only you. Oh my gosh, but I gotta say I'm impressed. So
It was
definitely
sweet.
thumbs up that he, put that kind of thought into it. And
Hmm.
yeah, because Dorothy is a huge sports fan, which
Yeah.
is so fun. And yeah, so super fun and a Detroit sports fan to boot. I grew
Yep.
up on the Detroit Tigers. We used to go, we're going off on another tangent here. But in my family, I don't know if you remember this, Dorothy, but Monday night was family night at,
Okay.
at Tiger Stadium. Yeah. So as a kid, yeah, we would go to Tiger Stadium like whenever they were in town on a Monday.
Uh-huh.
And guys, I was that kid. I really was that nerdy little kid with a pencil behind my ear. Look, and I was so into like doing the stats throughout the game
Yes. Yes.
in the program. That was me, which is
Mhm.
so funny now that I think back. But I was really into it,
That's
like
so
always had
neat.
my program. It's so geeky, right? But it's yeah.
My
But I
dad
can
did the
see you doing that
same.
too. Yeah,
And when
yeah.
he go to
And
the
I
bathroom,
remember,
he'd have me do it.
yeah, and I remember like getting to meet some of the oh, I remember it was so exciting, like meeting Mickey Lolich and meeting the bird
Oh
and,
yeah. Hmm.
like, oh, yeah. So growing up with the Detroit Tigers, it was a really huge part of my childhood.
I'll have to send you
For
the
fun.
video when he proposed to me. It's
Okay, do
cute.
it. I wanna see it. I'm super impressed.
Lily brings tears to my eyes every time we talk about it.
Oh, I'm so glad. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap up. So much fun catching up with you, Dorothy,
Thank
as
you.
always. And great to see everyone else that was able to join us today. Really, really appreciate you joining. And yeah, so don't forget sixfigurebizacademy.com. Let's set up a chat and just decide if the academy is your next step in your entrepreneurial journey. And then, of course, be sure to also visit travelformyhealth.com. Get on Dorothy's list and let's go to Costa Rica together next year, guys.
Yay.
All right. Okay, guys, take care. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. All right. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.